I was a bit delayed on that one. Hi, thank you for joining me for episode 20 of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. I actually can't believe it is episode 20. That's just crazy and has gone so quickly. Thank you for joining me today. Um, Please let me know in comments where you're tuning in from, because I always love to go through and reply and chit chat. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a GP, a general practitioner, which is family physician basically in the UK. And I'm also a spiritual and transformation life coach. And nothing lights me up more actually than my how I practice as a doctor, as a coach, is really showing others, be it my patients or my clients, how to rebalance their whole self health needs. And I guess it's a root cause and a heart-centered approach, and showing somebody else how to realign their own balance for their whole health and well-being with the framework that I use, which is the F list, which I created myself. Um, oh, it just lights me up because you can really impact somebody's life, and you really truly can have the ability to do anything. And oh, I love it. So today's guest is Sri, who is the video queen herself, and she has got loads of really quite juicy nuggets of information I just know she's going to share with us. So without further ado, please welcome on Sri.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be
Oh,
here.
you're welcome. You're so, so welcome. Thank you for joining me. It's
I,
fantastic to have you.
and to be the number 20th
Yeah, I know.
episode and being your guest. And we're talking about
Yes,
video. Like, this is awesome.
it
Hello,
is.
Florence.
I know. It's incredible. It's kind of like, I mean, I remember it's 20 weeks, episode 20, and you were there right at the beginning when I did my very first video that I posted. Oh my goodness me, it's incredible actually. Anyway, do tell everybody a little bit about you, what you do, and then some of your story. Hi, Anthony.
Hello, hello,
Hi,
everybody.
Juliet.
Thanks. Thank you for joining in. We're so grateful to have you here with us. My name is Shri, and I am a video visibility coach. I help solo entrepreneurs, corporate professionals get confidence so that you can use the power of video to build visibility to your brand and business by using the power of video and live streaming. And one of the things that a lot of people tell me is that, oh, I'm so scared. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. Well, let me tell you, that is how it was for me in the beginning. Even now, people tell me, oh, I'm so scared. What if I mess up? I mess up all the time. You're the only person that knows what you're supposed to be saying. But what's more important is that they hear your story, they hear the value that you have to share. So today we're going to be learning a little bit about this story, and I'll be answering any questions that you have. So make sure that you drop them below because I would love to be able to answer them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And talking about messing up, I momentarily, normally, I've changed things around a little bit. I talk about a little bit of myself, and I've started to play my brand video right at the beginning of the show. And I totally forgot because normally I go, "Hello, Mr. Producer, please do play the brand story." Totally forgot completely. And I'm just like, oh my goodness me. My head's in a bit of a ugh. Anyway, these things happen. So do tell us what brought you into sort of coming on and doing video yourself?
The whole story
Yeah.
began so in 2019. My daughter had a school event that I went to, and one of the parents owned a media company. So they had this video and they had the setup, and they were asking people to just, come up and say a few things. So I got up there
Mm.
and I was just having fun. And I started interviewing people, and they were like, "Hey, you've got something there. And I was like, I hate the way
Nice.
it look. I don't want to do this. I stopped. And then came later when I started my business in that same year in June, that I was like,
Mm,
okay, I know it's important to hear the testimonials, but it's placed on my heart. Hear their journey. Hear the entrepreneur's journey. And so I was trying to figure out, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have the right setting. I don't have the right studio. How do I interview people? Like, what should I do? And then COVID happens. And now here we are. We can't meet in person. And I'm thinking in myself, how can I build visibility to my brand and my business? How can I show to others that I have something that they need? So the idea of live streaming popped up when I started seeing Gary Vee, and then you saw Ed Emlet, Jay Shetty, and I'm like, how can I do this? I don't have what they have. Then I saw my friend going live on Instagram, and I was like, I know this girl, and I
mm,
can do it because I know her. And so that's when I started asking different entrepreneurs. 9 of them said no. The 10th one said yes. And so my show, Journey of an Entrepreneur, began on Instagram. I was so scared when I would come up by myself on the live. Like I would freeze. I didn't know what to say. I would start with, okay, everybody, we're just waiting for the guests. Why don't you just wait? Or I would say, hey, we're waiting for everybody to join. I've already said I would always do the wrong things when I started the live because I was so scared to be by myself. And after about 25 in, and I started to really look, how do other people do their openings? What can I do differently? And that's when I created the signature welcome, welcome, welcome. And that's been the signature for my show. But the first 50 lives, if I go back and watch them, I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking? What was I thinking with my background? What was I thinking with my just the whole thing? And even in the middle of the lives, I would start writing down notes, and I was like, I don't want to write down stuff. So I started typing and I started to share, hey, I'm taking notes. Come take notes with me. But again, it was a deflection of I was scared to be on camera. And eventually it started to be okay, I'm comfortable being on camera. I have a story to share. Now it was, how can I offer value to others because I don't see the value in myself? And then came, okay, you're just going to jump into this sphere. And I started sharing it on LinkedIn. That's when I started my second business, which is what I'm doing today. My first one was a virtual assistant. And then when I started the business on LinkedIn came the fear of, well, I'm going to lose it all by going live on LinkedIn. I'm going to lose it all by posting, and I did. I got laid off 9 days before Christmas. I actually went on a live. It was the same day that I was going live with Russ because we planned it months ahead. And I was like, he was like, so tell us, how's it going for you? And I said, well, I lost my job today, but I decided to still show up to share with others that you keep going and this is possible. And I'm looking forward to what's to come. And he was like shocked. There was a few people who reached out after that show. I'm not saying that everybody can do that, but
mm.
that's just my story in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, that's pretty impressive, honey. I think there's a couple of things that really strike me. It's about the right support around you as well, which I think, especially when you are in such a vulnerable position and, everything you once knew and that's just suddenly gone, that takes courage. That really does. That really does. So well done. That's incredible. And what do you think in terms of from that moment then? Tell us a little bit more about how things developed from there moving forward.
So, what ended up happening is that because I had built momentum in my business, especially with the Instagram live show, and then I had another show I started with Charlene Brown called Sip and Chat every Tuesday evening. That was the momentum to keep going. And I had a business where I had something to fall back on. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump into it. And I really focused on that. And that's what I've been doing. And it has been a roller coaster ride of ups and downs, lots of failing forward, lots of moments of like, what am I doing? Is this going to work? Burnout, and just learning along the way and understanding, you may have something, but if no one knows that you have an offer, no one knows what you can do to help others, they're never going to ask for your help. They're never going to come in. And it takes a while even before somebody says, I want to invest with you, because think about our own selves and our own journey and our own how we look at things. Some things we know we want to purchase right away. And then there's some things we're like, well, let me look and see if this is what I really need right now.
So sorry, Shri. I am just gonna I'm just gonna something is not working here. Sorry, honey.
Gotta love live streaming.
I know.
I want everybody to know that when you go
Okay.
live, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, technical difficulties, experiences happen. But instead of panicking, being patient, understanding, being calm makes it easier, because it just happens. It's not like, oh, it has to be perfect. It's the idea of coming every time, showing up. That's where I see is perfection. You just didn't give up. And so we are going to get through this, and we are going to be fine. And I'm going to tell you, Dr. Noopy, no matter what, you're doing amazing. You're here 20 shows later. You're still showing up. I've seen a few of your lives where you're like, we messed up, but you still showed up. And you know what? You're going to look at this experience 1 year later, and you're going to say to somebody who's starting out, this is the words that you will share with them. I've already seen that, and I still am okay. And I still have people who want to work with me.
Exactly. And I think that's the key. I remember the very first show I did, the sound quality, it just all froze. And I was there going, I don't know what to do. And I just was it was, but I stayed calm. There was not really much I could do. And I just remember pretending that my headphones were a live feed into like a newsreader studio, going, yes, we have technical difficulties, and straight over to studio 2. In my head, that's what was playing out. And today, what was happening then, I realized I couldn't get my laptop working. And when somebody's trying to call on my phone, I literally disappear off the screen. So I think I'm just checking now, make sure everything's sorted. That's why I know, Russ, I know. I think everything is sorted now. If it goes off again, I'm just going to let you take over for a little bit and just keep talking to all the guests. Because it might be a little bit, I might need to go and see what the hell's going on actually in the background.
No problem. So anybody who has questions, let's start dropping them.
Yeah.
So that way, just in case if something was to happen, we can handle this. Because you know what? It's the show it's going to be all of our shows today.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not just Dr. Noopy, not just Sri. It's all of us watching this live. So I think we have a question.
Yeah, we do. Right. Florence has asked, what has been your biggest joy or accomplishment since you have started your journey?
Oh, man.
It's a great question.
This is a great question, because I think that when I look at it, there's just so many elements with my daughter, elements with myself. But I think the biggest one is that I just haven't given up. We've all had those pain points. I know that I have been investing into myself. I'm not seeing the return. Well, have you been talking about your offer? When you talk about your offer, is it getting reached out to people? Okay, let's think about what are different ways you can get your offer out to other people. What ideas do you have that you share with others? And what are you seeing that others are doing that you can implement? Then it's the biggest thing, believing in yourself. I mean, 6 months ago, I had a little bit, well, I won't say even a little bit. I really didn't believe in myself as much as I do today. So it took me time to say, this is what I can do. I can help others. And I know that the offers, the whatever that I have, even if it's just a free masterclass, there is still value that was shared. I learned this 2 weeks ago. People pay you. They may not pay you with money, but they pay you with their time. So those, because I didn't make a sale on the masterclass, I really value that too as failing. But no. The a lesson is that they that I had a launch, 69 people signed up, 29 people showed up. I had testimonials and people were there to support me. Florence is one, Dr. Nupi was one, Russ was one, and they all showed support and love. And at the end of the day, when you look at it, we cannot get back the time that we have invested with someone, but you can get back the money. So the problem was not that people didn't see the value. They just didn't see, they have a problem with time. They didn't realize, hey, you spent all this time with Sri consuming her content. So if anybody's out there and you're trying to think, well, how can I do this? What can I do? Just know that first start with yourself. Believe in yourself and you can do anything. If you believe you can't do anything, you can't do anything. If you believe you can do something, you can do it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. And that takes time. Sometimes you might be going through your own pain points and you have to really go there. And it's just putting one step in front of another. I love Russ's question here is, what do you think is the main reason people don't do videos? I
I
think,
love this, Russ. I would say it's a cumulative of answers. So I'm going to go through just a few, which I even shared earlier, which is I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. I don't think that I have value to share. I'm fear of the judgment that will come, whether it's your spouse, your friends, your family, friends, other people. That judgment is it's real, but it should not stop you. The other one is I've seen that they don't see, because they're getting inbound leads, whether it's they're going to networking events or referrals, which word of mouth referral is very, very powerful. However, you still have more to give when you do video. And I want to bring that to you. If you have a book that you just put out and you only have the people that you have reached to, which is your network of friends and your contacts and your clients. Now, if you want somebody like Dr. Nupi all the way in London to purchase your book, first off, Dr. Nupi doesn't know you. You're telling me to buy a book that's written by somebody that I don't even know, that may not have anything to do with what I have. Why should I buy this book? But now I go to your profile and I see your book and I'm like, and I see who you are and you're reading a passage from the book. I heard you on a podcast. Now I'm like, okay, I'm intrigued to buy this book. So if you're not using video, think about the person that doesn't know you. Think about the person that's on the other side of the yes. You do not know what, when they decide to say yes to you because they want to invest in your content, your video, your book, your offer, your 90-minute strategy session, which I have, you don't know how that could impact somebody. You don't know how that could change their life because they decided to say, yes, I want to take this next step. I want to learn more about you. Maybe it's the book. They see, hey, I want to hire this person as a speaker, or I want to work with them. Maybe they say, hey, I saw you on a live. I want to work with Sri and do the 90-minute session because I know that she's going to help me. Or you see Dr. Nupi and you realize, like, I need some internal healing. And you've seen how she's showing up time after time. And you're like, you know what? Let me just say yes to myself because on the other side, there's something greater coming.
very good points. And I think it's about Diana Londoño. Hi, Diana.
Hi,
Brought up
Diana.
something which I think is so important to remember, is that, you know what, you can't please everybody, and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I think with that is also knowing that people are always going to judge. That's human nature. And it's remembering, I think, being true to yourself, that this is why I do this. This is my passion or my purpose. And I think remembering key things like, I don't need anybody else's approval. I am rock solid in where and who I am. And I think, again, that takes time because you're really putting yourself out of your comfort zone. And it, it takes that little bit of leap of faith. And I guess truly believing in yourself, which is what you were saying before. It's about, and it's a journey, and this takes time to develop. But I think there's always going to be people who are going to judge, and well, that's okay. That's your opinion, and it's how you navigate that. And I guess what it is, what do I take from this? How can I maybe protect myself more, put boundaries up? What sort of things have you found have helped you?
That's a really good question. By the way, we're matching in our eyeshadow. I'm wearing
Are
a
we?
just for you. Made sure the glitter
Nice.
to bring the glitter back to you, just for you.
Why, thank you.
I was reading Diana's
Yeah.
comment too that goes along with what you were saying, and
Mm.
when I look back, I was so scared of people judging me. I was always trying to please them. And then when I started going live, it was coming out. And now in especially in 2021 August, when my daughter went off to college. So before that, I actually cried on a live because somebody asked, "What's your biggest obstacle?" And I said, and that was John Bellams. He's my creative director. So he asked me that question. I cried. And then when Savino went to college for that first month, I cried every day. I cried on live.
Oh,
I didn't care because I was like,
yeah.
this is what I'm going through. I
Yeah.
had moments where it got very lonely. I remember one time I was just like, I don't want to call because I feel bad. But I said, you know what? I was spiraling really fast. And I said, you know what? She called, my daughter called, and I told her, and she just kept asking me questions that helped me get out of that. And I said, you know what? Let me just share this story. I don't really care what people have to say. I just want to make sure that somebody understands if they need help, just answer that call, whoever calls you. And lo and behold, so many people reached out to me after that
Oh.
story I put on Instagram that I realized, you know what? I'm just being me and it's okay. Why am
Mm.
I trying to hide stuff? And slowly and surely, I've been sharing that journey when I lost my job, when even during this year, things didn't go as planned, or I hit burnout, to even just being there for people in the comments or just checking on. I remember Dr. Nupi, you reached out to me during that time, and I reached out to her, and I've realized um, we're so scared, but
Mm.
we're not alone.
Mm.
We're really not alone. So if you're out there watching this, just just reach out. You can reach out to Dr. Noop. You can reach out to me. But
Oh,
just
bless
know
you.
just know you're not alone. So
You're
I think
not alone. Yeah,
you're not alone.
absolutely.
And that's like one of those things going back. I'm alone in this journey. I don't
Mm.
know if anybody's going to understand what I'm going through,
Mm.
but you do. Remember, you are here, you are an entrepreneur or you are a corporate professional, and we all have pain points that we're facing. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a service. How does what you have help somebody, get them closer to that pleasure? They're willing to pay you. So if you
Mhm.
understand what their pain points are, then you understand how to help them. So this is why when you are sharing your journey, you're sharing out what you're going through. If you are, a holistic Reiki master, then you're going to look for those pain points and use that in your copy and your videos. For me, I'm always looking for, why is somebody not getting on camera? What, in asking the questions, because a lot of times it's not the story that you think it is. It could be, maybe you were made fun of the way you sounded when you were younger. Maybe it was because when you looked in the mirror, you were told when you were younger that you were fat and ugly by people that you were very close to. So you hate the way that you look. So these are deeper stories that you're looking at, because you just see, I don't like the way I look and I don't like the way I sound.
Yeah,
So when you share your story out there,
absolutely.
you're giving us it's information, but it's also sharing, like, this is
Yes,
the truth.
yes.
And this is
You're
what
being
we,
real. You're being
yes,
completely real. And I
yes.
think
And
there is so much power in that. So it's showing up as you are, and it's not just a surface sort of, yeah, this is who I am, and I'm always going to be on and my bestest self. It's impossible. That's not human. That's not being real at all. And I think sharing what you're going through is still going to help and impact somebody else. And it's just what you've said, actually, that on, was it Friday? Yeah, on Friday just gone, I had a really crappy week last week, and I talked about it because, and I'm really, when I do shows or if somebody's interviewing me, I'm really keen to make sure people, we don't have it all sussed. I've got an F list. I've been through my journey. I share my story to give other people something to navigate through to, and know that actually, you know what, this can work, and it gives somebody that hope, and that, I guess it's like it's putting a framework in front so that they know they're not alone. Somebody gets it, and that is so powerful. And including all the bad bits as well. I mean, I'm not saying, it's like it's not a free for all either, but just the fact that I had been through a funk last week and was working my way through it using my own F list, and I wasn't feeling great. I was like, right, take some time out, go to bed earlier, this, that, the other. And on the Friday, where I normally do one of my songs, I was like, I didn't even think I was going to sing. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to actually tell it as it is. And I was in tears as I was singing. I was just literally like, oh my God. But the fact that actually so many people commented and like said, I've had a really bad week. Thanks for sharing that. I know I'm not the only person feeling this. I think that is just incredibly powerful, actually. And it's the strength within your own vulnerability is what I teach on my framework. And I think as Bruce and Anthony are saying, it can be the tiniest little thing from our story, this little light of mine. Okay, I'm not singing it today, but Anthony,
this little light of
light of
mine.
mine, I'm gonna let. I've been singing this all week. I know my kids are like going, stop singing that song. But it's the tiniest part of your story, and actually, it might be something that you don't actually recognize as going to be that impactful or significant for somebody else. But it's that tiny little grain, and I think there's a lot of merit in that. So yes, this little light of mine, authenticity, indeed, Mr. Producer, indeed. And any exciting projects that you've got coming up? We could talk about this for hours, actually. In fact,
We
I'm going to get you back on.
can.
It's
We
gone really
can.
quickly. It's not
It had.
fair. It's like half an
It's
hour's
because
just
we're having
flown
too much fun.
by. I know.
It's
I
too much
know.
fun. But anybody who was watching, if you didn't capture the tip is not to have your alarms go off during a show. Is look at other people's content for ideas if you have an offer, so you can understand how your offer can help somebody. What are the pain points that you're seeing? And because a lot of times we confuse pain points and problems, but really we're not speaking to the right person. So you got to understand your pain point, look at other people's, and maybe their content could be the reason why you create an offer, ebook, whatever it is. So what I have going on for the month of October, because it is my birthday month,
Birthday.
Yes, my birthday's actually in 10 days. That's what makes the show even more special. It's the 20th show, 10 days later. It's my birthday, October 27th. I am offering a 90-minute strategy session with me where you can ask me questions in regards to if you're not comfortable being on camera, you can ask questions on that. Or if you're a corporate professional and you want to just be able to sit in a meeting and be able to present, I would love to be able to help you. Along with if you want to go live or understand how you're an author, but you do not know how to get onto podcasts or live streaming shows, and you want to think of a strategy to be able to do that, you can book that call with me. I have 8 sessions left. So you want to make sure because they are going by pretty quickly. And before you know it, the 27th will be here and then the doors will close. So I am looking forward to helping you be able to get on camera so that you can use it for whatever, not whatever, but it is, if it's building up your public speaking skill, being able to build visibility to your brand, your offer, or even just strategizing how you can take your book that you just put out, making sure you get yourself out on every corner of those who would want to purchase your book.
Love it. I mean, you've got such a wealth of experience. On the surface, it's yes, you're a video queen, but there is so much more behind that. And I think you've got so much to offer. And I can as you said, I came along to one of your workshops and it's brilliant. It was just so insightful. So yes, people get booking with Sri. And how can people get hold of you? How can they contact you?
You can definitely, first I want to say thank you for attending and for that testimonial. I'm going to use it in my, you can get a hold of me here on LinkedIn since you're here already. And if you are on YouTube, I'm also on YouTube. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, I have a weird handle. It's nextlev_consulting_Sri. And I'm also on TikTok, which is my name, Sri Mahabir. You could get in touch with me in all those places and I will get back to you. Even on Facebook, I will get back to you.
Exactly. Fantastic. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
I do think we need a bit more conversations, just going a bit deeper. I think I'll get you back on again for sure. Don't go anywhere. I'll come and join you in the green room in a couple of minutes and I'll just wrap up.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Amazing. It's so many great points there. I think I'm going to have to go watch this on replay and actually put some bullet points down as to a couple of the things that Sri has mentioned today. And I think it's not just the video content, it's everything else behind it. It's knowing and being comfortable with who you are. It's amazing. Thank you for watching and thank you for joining me on episode 20 today. And because I missed this at the beginning, just to give people an idea of what it feels like to work with me, going through the F list, the framework of aligning your health needs and glitterifying you, basically. I'm going to play the brand story in a couple of minutes, but just as a reminder, you can find me here every Monday on LinkedIn, 8 o'clock BST, which is a wrong way. Hold on. No, other one. Sorry. 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time. And every other Tuesday, we've got a show coming tomorrow with Physicians in Motion, Supernova Soul Sisters, myself and Diana Londonio. So we have an episode coming tomorrow, which is very, very exciting. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube, all under the Glitter Practitioner. And mainly, you find me here on LinkedIn. So do reach out, book a call with me. I'm running my program, Find Your Fizz and Flourish. And what does that feel like? I'll show you now. So, Mr. Producer, may we have the brand story, please?
Follow the light through the storm. And this is not a light that warns, it's a light that forms on the pathway ahead. So you can maneuver around disaster instead of getting stopped by the obstacles. It just takes changing the obstacles. And then the impossible turns to possible. And then the storm lifts. You're no longer adrift. Breathe, focus. You've got this. Ahead you see a figure, a kind soul, and on the inside it feels like you might glow. Your endless cycles of cyclones have been turned to a breeze that just slightly blows. You're adorned with glitter, where you literally feel like a kid again. And this is when you realize how much of your life you've missed. And then you talk more with Dr. Nupi Aurora, who will holistically change your aura, where you and the new you won't be like strangers. No, you'll be like friends. Because this whole process is simply life-changing. So if you're feeling frazzled and you want to find your fizz and dazzle, then book a call with Dr. Nupi Aurora by messaging her right here on LinkedIn.
Thank you. Thanks, Russ, for playing that. And thank you for joining me. And I shall see you again next week for episode 21. Bye.